Hello everyone, welcome back. Oh, goodness. Another day for the Fugly Frump readings on his health. This one's for Thursday, November 13th, 2025. So what is the truth about the state of his health for Thursday to Friday? And then Friday, I'll do Friday to Saturday. Let's just focus in on Thursday. Right there. Okay, so we have the World card. Now, I did leave the cards all upright, but, that's because I've already established, I've gotten the Death card reversed before, which tells me he has an incurable disease that he's stuck in. I have, I think probably about 30 times, close to 30 times, somewhere in there. I received since May, I started doing these daily health readings in May. This time around, first time around I did it for, I don't know how many years, but I think 3. So, anywho, I had the temperance reversed, which is, the grave illness. I've had the hermit reversed so many times, which is, acute illnesses. And, and I wanted to say thank you for all the comments about, I don't know if anybody said the words exactly, but I got from doing some research that he could have a portable defibrillator, which is, not inside, it's external. It's called an AED. Dick Cheney died with the weapons of mass destruction, not too long ago. Whenever I think of Dick Cheney, I just think WMED, right? Because that's what he was all about. Well, maybe Trump has an AED. An automated external device, or external defibrillator. And that definitely would go along with, things that we've seen on the side, and the fact that Dr. Oz is always so close by, because he'd be the guy that would get the alert, right? I think that's how they work. And then the other thing too is that I've had so many of the Fool card coming through reversed, and the Tower card, upright or reversed. That one to me is ruled by Mars and Uranus. So any of these cards that have a lot of Aquarius or Uranus rulings, that those would be the cards, and this would be something different with the World card, but those would be the cards that would talk about something that could control the electrical, neurological, whatever. Like the Star card, right? We've had the Star card before, many times. So anyway, with the World coming through upright, I left them all upright. This is something that's coming full circle. I know that he doesn't take self-responsibility for anything in his life. He's the biggest gaslighter on the planet, biggest liar, I would think. Maybe he and Putin are equally joined at the hip in that department. But between the pathological lying and the failure to take responsibility, self-responsibility, responsibility for what he has taken on him via what he wants, right? He wants ultimate power, blah, blah, blah. When it comes to health and with him, because again, I didn't allow for reversals, but this tells me that he's got an undue amount of stress, kind of like if we had the Ten of Wands, a lot of stress on his skeletal system and his bones. So there's that. And on the soul level, because the major arcana, they're each one of the gateways, the evolutionary gateways that the Fool travels through, in the tarot. So the way that works is this is the last one where a person, if they've taken self-responsibility for how they create their own reality without beating themselves up, because we only do it based on our belief system, not because we have done anything wrong or bad, except for this guy and his ilk. What is going on here is that he has no freedom coming in his next life. And so, if we don't see the divine justice that we want in this lifetime, we have to trust that the universe will take care of, right? We had the devil card yesterday. Remember, the devil will always have its due. So anyway, I think this is it. I think something is coming full circle, and it has everything to do with his bones, and he's not getting out from under this. There's no freedom in his body. The dude doesn't even really know. He's never done any personal process work, so he does not know what positive pleasure feels like because he doesn't open his heart. So he's just steeped in negative pleasure, which is, all the darkness that he puts out there, always looking to see how he can get even with other people and how he can control reality. Well, you know what? Not good. So, okay, the biggest challenge today with the Two of Swords, now the challenge card I always read as a reversal, but either way you want to look at it. But if I put it this way, maybe it'll help get, because, images, symbology burns into our brain. And we all have connections to these images because they've been around since 1909. So, but anyway, Two of Swords reversed is drugs. So he is not getting out. It could be that the drugs will have his due, which would be like, the devil. The devil's all about drugs. Drugs and lies. So, yeah, okay. So this is the main thing going on all day. I think I'll move them over this way. I'll put the two at the bottom over here. And then let's just look at the rest of the day. And I'll move this guy over here. And there we go. Let's do a little bit more. Yeah. And remember, I left them all upright. Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, not so good. Because remember, when it comes to his health, it's pretty much everything is not working well. And yeah, he's friggin' crazy. So, okay, Nine of Cups is, so his overindulgence, his liver problems, his high blood pressure, his gluttony, his drugs, alcohol, whatever he takes in. Okay? That's a problem. And he's waking up with that. Yeah, he may think he may feel kind of content, but can he communicate effectively with the Lover's card up here? I don't think so. And are his arms and shoulders working well? He always seems hunched over at the neck. We don't see him. Well, the biggest thing he does is he raises his arms up enough to do his stupid dance, but he doesn't go up very high. We don't see him put his arm up and wave high, right? And the more he moves around, we do tend to see sometimes that bulge on that one side, where that very well could be an automated external defibrillator. That's possible. And this could be a communication, device. It's Gemini. It's Mercury. Gemini rules this card. That's why I put Mercury up there, because Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. But anyway, with the Lovers, I think he's having trouble communicating. Didn't we have this yesterday? I thought we had this card in here somewhere yesterday. But when we're in the Gemini realm, and you've got the clouds here to Well, it means several things. But when I see clouds, I think of lungs, right? So there's that. So he could be having lung problems, problems with his hands, hearing, ears, but most of all, just a lot of respiratory problems. And yeah. And then with the swords, the Four of Swords, we have the Two of Swords and the Four of Swords. We have a lot of air here going on. With the Four of Swords, he could be really stressed and burned out and needing rest, but then he doesn't take it because he doesn't really, he already said he knows he's not getting into heaven, so why pray? I mean, that's one thing I can say for him. He kind of has a good sense of humor every once in a while, and then other times he's just telling on himself. I think that's it most of the time. But anywho, when we're diving into just health meanings in the Four of Swords, it should be, healing from some kind of a battle or a betrayal, because it comes after the Three of Swords, right? But with him, I think it's more that he's isolating himself as much as he possibly can. And this is also a card of high blood pressure and possible diabetes issues, insulin problems, because it's like trying to balance out, Jupiter heal and balance out. Jupiter brings through the truth, which sometimes is not good. Well, it's always good to get the truth, but I think he knows his days are numbered. So with the Six of Wands upright again, Jupiter in Leo, this could be some type of a failure today and some type of a loss. And I could bet that it's going to have to do with, if we just look over here at the Lovers card, and then something coming full circle of the physical realm with the world here, this could have everything to do with the Epstein emails that have come out from Michael Wolff's exchange with what's-her-face, Maxwell, the other rapist. So there's that. And that could be causing major problems there for him in relationship. If I looked at it on the other level as well. And then here we could see a fall and the failure, like the falling off his high horse and failure. Because again, I didn't allow for reversals, but I'm telling you the reverse meaning with this card, with the Six of Wands. Now, Temperance, same thing. He has his good and bad days about his ability to manage his endocrine system and the bodily fluid flow and his, Again, I did not allow for reversals, but the reverse meaning with the Temperance card is really bad. This is about having gone too far, and there's a lot of exhaustion. These two cards both have the same meaning reversed when it comes to falling from up high. But Sag is more about worldwide travel. And if he goes on a plane today, Thursday, I'm doing this reading on Wednesday. If he's on a plane, you never know. I mean, you just never know. He is definitely having problems with people pissed off about the airlines, the FAA. So, yeah, okay. And then with the Hanged Man, we had this yesterday, I'm pretty sure. 3 days this week. Yeah, so being poisoned, drowning in his own disgusting bodily fluids, because he is putrefying from the inside out. We know that. This is a card for traitors. This is a card for addicts. This is a card for a cult leader. And this is also a card for insanity. And remember, we had the moon card if I were to keep going. But, we got this card a few days last week too, so yeah. Anywho, and it gets better if we go further into the night. So it looks like mornings are a little better for him, and then evenings are always the most challenging. And then he does his rage posting in the middle of the night too. So with the Seven of Swords, on one level, this is going to be absolutely about the leaked emails. But when it comes to health, this is his own self-sabotage coming through, how he's not taking good care of himself. This could be another whistleblower. And, I'll keep telling I have been telling my members when I do their daily astrology, we're looking at the aspects, there's that Mars opposing Mars and Mercury retrograde and Sag, moving back into Scorpio, which is all about sex scandals, and opposing Uranus, which can bring everything out and just blow things up. And that's what's happening. Mercury retrograde is doing its thing, and that's good. That's a good thing. And so there's that, and I'm not going to talk about how it relates to his chart because I'll be here for too long and I don't have time. So, but anyway, whistleblowers, possible viruses when it comes to just health, but most of all, person's their own self-sabotage being revealed. But it's also a card of leakers and double agents and people who are involved in an arms race. Could even be an ambassador, because we've got the world card here for all day long. But something about the truth coming out with the Ace of Swords. And maybe even some type of surgery to get some of the fluids off of his heart, because we know when the time comes, it's going to be congestive heart failure, and he will literally drown in his own disgusting, and my heart goes out to anybody that's ever had to go that way, but not this guy. I can't find it in me. I just can't. So, anyway. But you know how they have that, what's it called? It's not the ambassador's pouch. I know you guys will help me with this. I always lose the words sometimes because what it's like in my head looking at these cards, looking at the cards, period. You have to understand, since the 80s, I've been into astrology, so the astrology is always speaking to me, as well as the images and the meanings of the cards, and so all those correlations are happening at the same time, and then to try to think logically as to what's going on in the news and words that I've heard that's like, oh, that's something. That means something. And then I'm trying to do a reading. A lot of times I forget a person's name and I forget what things are called. But anyway, it's like the ambassador, is it amnesty? Like they have their amnesty pouch, is that what it is? Or their bag and this should be outlawed. This should never, ever have ever been allowed. But they can, this is how that, what was his name? El Sisi, the dude in Turkey, or no, I'm sorry, Egypt. Yeah, Egypt. The Egyptian president got $10 million in a bag of cash to Trump and a bag of burner phones so they could, just call me on this one. And then, okay, if you want something else, call me on that one, blah, blah, blah. That happened way back when. Because remember, Trump, no matter what, is very easy to bribe. So something like that could come out that could cause his health to, keep him really stressed out and burned out. And it could also cause his fall from grace. He doesn't have grace, but, I have to give you the meanings of the cards. Fall from up high, could even be out of a literal airplane. But this Temperance card is really, really bad because it, the endocrine system in our bodies, they create, when it's working well, all the organs working together so that we have homeostasis. And but it also, we're in the realm of the liver, and and the blood sugar again. There's so many cards about that here, yeah. And then in here, also the possible fevers. But we've got, because we have the challenge card down here being the Two of Swords, we're in that realm of drugs already. And then I'm thinking drug interactions really get to him at night. So it's probably some drugs that he's currently being given, like his nighttime meds. And then maybe he has his own self-medication that's, because he's going to do whatever he can do to stay out of pain, because that's how this guy is. He's just, and most of his pain is just unprocessed soul, emotional soul pain. So good luck with that, dude, because you ain't done shit there. Oh, Lordy. Okay. Oh, again with the Eight of Swords. My goodness. So now, you know what the only card that's missing? Because this one was already, that was there. Maybe I'll just put this one here. Let's slam the lid on his face. And let's put this one here. Let's just do like that. There we go. Oh, okay. I'll just hold it there. I'm crunching my card. Anyway. Insane in the membrane. The Tower. Again, his own self-sabotage. And he's fevers, hot-headed. And then, if he does have some little device, because, the Four Swords, I'm not using the Lennies where I have more symbology. Like the little coffin card could be like the box, But if we look at this, the sarcophagus here as being, a coffin, because that's what it is. And then the electrical, because here we have the Uranus card here, Gemini here, Aquarius over here, that'll do it too. And yeah. So he could have that AED, and he's stuck wearing it because he's got the heart problems, just like Dick Cheney did. And so with the Tower, when it comes to health, well, besides MRIs and CT scans and all of that, this definitely is like self implosion, whether it's upright or reversed. It's still he's blowing his top, right? This could be angers and arguments and attacks that really have him feeling trapped and stuck. And again, he needs breathing room. I think a lot of the drugs that they're giving him for pain, or the drugs to manage whatever, I think are causing problems with his breathing abilities. So yeah, there's that. Also with the Tower card, if I were to venture out of the realm of health for just a minute, this is like what Nero fiddling while Rome burns, right? This can also be a prison riot. I think it's more like people really pissed at him because of his relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, and she's at in that Texas prison getting everything she wants, and yeah. Meanwhile, we know what's coming down the pike for him, right? Because next, Adelita Grijalva will be sworn in, possibly this afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, possibly. The Epstein emails are out. The divine timing, even with, because Mercury retrograde will bring through what, communications from the past come back out. And it's in Sag, really getting out there with politics, because Sag is the sign that rules politics. And then what else do we have? It's going to go back into Scorpio, the sign of, like I said before, sex scandals. Opposing Uranus and Taurus, which we've already gone through because Uranus is now retrograde. So the past is coming out. And the South Node in Virgo is bringing through more and more of the facts, but it's from the past, because the South Node is always about the past. So this guy's in a world of problems, and he's too crazy. He's just too crazy to know what's going on. I keep him face down in here, but if we put him face up and then there, I guess maybe that'll help. I don't want to slam it too loud, because what if you're sleeping and you fell asleep listening to my voice? Because yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah. The past is coming out. He had paranoia. He's not getting out from under it, and he is knucking futs, and we know it. We all know it. So there's that. Okay, I'm done. Take good care, you guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday, Thursday. Bye.